Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and on today's episode we have another great Gentle Giant statue to take a look at from everybody's favorite sci-fi franchise that isn't Star Trek. But really no biases here, because it's okay to love them both, and I do. So today I am very excited to show off to you guys the Star Wars Darth Vader 1/6 scale bust based on his appearance in Star Wars A New Hope. This resin mini bust is limited to only 3,000 pieces, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity that I'll take a look at in a few moments. But yeah, this bad boy here, 1/6 scale. Can you imagine containing Darth Vader in this size? Well, actually I can, because not too long ago we took a look at a similar item from Gentle Giant to Diamond Select, and that was their Darth Vader Star Wars Rebel statue, and I really enjoyed that piece. But it wasn't necessarily the most iconic Darth Vader look, and granted there's a lot of quote-unquote iconic looks for Darth Vader over all the different movies and things that he's appeared in, but really A New Hope is where it all started and has a special place in the hearts of many Star Wars fans. So I'm curious to see how this guy's going to look out of the packaging, but as far as a preview goes, we get that right here in the front of the box, which, I should always add, Gentle Giant pieces for the most part have very, very simple boxes, very few frills, and likewise we're getting that here. And what you do get is images of the statue on basically 3 of the sides. So we have this big front view here, and on each side we have another view at our Vader statue. Now, on the back of the box, it has a really big photo from the opening scene of A New Hope, which makes sure you know exactly which movie this Darth is based on, as well as a little bio. The funny thing about the bio is it's pretty concise and it's decent. It's just there's so many trademark symbols in this thing because Star Wars has to Star Wars and Disney's got a Disney. So yeah, it's full of all these little tiny TM symbols all over the place that kind of distract from the bio a little bit. One thing you might notice here in the packaging that is missing, which you would normally find on a Diamond Select PVC statue, for example, is credits to the artist. For whatever reason, they don't really include that here on these resin pieces. It's greatly missed, and I hope that they start doing it in the future, but, and really I'll keep campaigning until they do, but otherwise the box here, pretty simple, and since there really isn't much else to talk about, I think it's time to go ahead and get our Darth Vader out of the package and get a closer look at him from all angles. You will keep watching the video. You will like and subscribe. Alright, let's get to the review now. And here is our Darth Vader statue, and it feels like it's missing something, isn't it? Well, we're missing this right here, and this is Darth's lightsaber blade. This is packaged separately in the styrofoam container that the statue comes with, and we're going to go ahead and attach it right now on camera just to show you guys how it works, and, well, really just that easily. It's in place. And it looks like it's pretty straight as well, from what I could tell. Yeah, there we go. So Darth is ready to, well, I was going to say maul or brawl, but that just sounds like someone else. So let's just go ahead and we'll do a quick rotation. I'll give you guys my initial thoughts of this Darth Vader statue. And it's really beautiful. This is iconic. I enjoyed the one that I looked at a while ago for Star Wars Rebels, but that wasn't my Darth. That wasn't my Darth Vader. But this one here, this is his film debut. And man, now seeing it as it turns especially, I'm just like, yeah, this, well, to quote a certain stormtrooper, or paraphrase him, this is the Vader I was looking for. So it's hitting all the right points for me, and it looks like it's just a beautifully put together piece, top to bottom, 360 degrees. I'm already looking at this thing and not seeing anything that I really feel like I'm going to have to nitpick over. Usually with these types of Gentle Giant pieces, there's not major complaints I'll have with any of them. Usually there's just little nitpicks here and there, but I don't think we're going to have that this time around as much. I do want to point out, by the way, that this Darth Vader statue does come with a certificate of authenticity that comes in the form of this little trading card size piece of paper over here. It's not a piece of paper, but it's, card stock. So it just has the same image of what we're looking at right here, and on the back it has the number for the piece. And likewise, if you're wondering, the number of the piece is also located on the base. And I believe the box on the styrofoam also actually has a little sticker denoting which edition you have of this piece. So let's go ahead now and get started, and I want to spend some time more on Darth's helmet. Because normally I would ask things about, likeness and does this look like Darth Vader? Alright, let's talk about this helmet here. Does this look like the iconic Darth Vader helmet? And I gotta say, it definitely does. Darth's helmet was slightly different in each of the films, but this one for me, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's got that spot-on sort of samurai look that we've seen, and you'll see a lot more aggressively in like the Ralph McQuarrie concept pieces. But, I mean, this looks like him. This is a great version of his mask. And a really wonderful sculpting job, in addition to a wonderful paint job too, because the paint is what's going to really solidify this here. And this is a multiple style of black sort of sculpt that we're getting with this Darth Vader piece. So for example, Darth's helmet is this really shiny black material, much more glossy than the rest of him. And then when we turn to see his face, his eyes have a similar gloss, but not quite the exact same glossiness. And the rest of his mask is also a little bit of, it's metallic, it's definitely metallic, but it's got a little bit more of a matte finish, or somewhere kind of in between. But it is still highly reflective from every angle. And I think that's one of the cool things about Darth Vader's gear is that he has such a reflective looking piece. You know, black is essentially the color that absorbs all of light, but what they're doing with this piece here, they're making sure that it still has its wonderful sheen, that metallic luster. It looks spot on. This is perfect. I'm in love with this already. I especially dig all the detail in his respirator. I guess we'll call it the respirator. I think that's what it's called. You know, like all the great detail, the little tiny silver dots that we have on the ends here. There's a little bit of weathering here and there also, and there is an actual pattern. There's some tactile sensations here in that respirator part. And I gotta tell you guys too, just looking at it, it's so nice the way it's reflecting all the different lights here that are on it, because I do have my red light and my blue light on each of it, on each side of it, and it's looking so nice with that extra kind of sheen going on there, especially of course in the helmet, which from behind, I mean, you know, I know the face is iconic, but to me the back of Darth's head is also equally iconic. It's a very unique shape that few other characters in sci-fi share. I mean, when you see that, you know it's Darth. Even from this angle, you can tell who that is. So that looks really great from every possible angle. So that's our likeness. Gonna give that a perfect grade if I was a teacher. Let's go ahead and spend some time looking at the rest of our Vader here, spending some time now with the body. And again, same thing, man. Just, wow, this is a gorgeous piece. And there's a lot of texture here to play with too. I mean, looking at Darth's sleeve alone, it has this like quilted armor look to it. And it's very glossy, as is his glove here. You know, they're meant to be different textures and meant to be different materials if it was actually in real life. But yeah, you kind of do get that different feel across his entire body, is that you're looking at a bunch of different textures, even though this all is just solid resin. So the quilted armor is great, wonderfully reflective. The glove has some wonderful paint detail there. It's like two-tone paint to add some more depth to it. His armor and his chest section, same thing. You know, this is meant to be like fabric over here, coinciding with some of the metal pieces that he has that are connected to his chest, as well as the controls that he has here down closer to his stomach. Also on his belt, we have this really cool little piece here. You know, I don't know what half these things are. I know there's some real hardcore Star Wars fans who do. Feel free to tell me what all these little bells and whistles are, because I'd love to find out. I've never actually looked into that. I would love to know what the heck these things are for. But they look great, and I gotta also add, as far as like paint detail goes, these are some tiny little buttons and knobs and switches, and the paint application is, I'd say, nearly flawless. You know, like I'm looking at one button over here in this corner that has like a little bit of extra silver where the red should be, but it's like so minute, you have to really, really look hard to find it. And I mean, like, put your face down to it to notice it. So if you got this guy, you know, just posing like he is on a nice display somewhere, it's never going to even be noticed. In fact, honestly, the way you're going to pose him is probably going to be like this, facing this direction anyway. So chances are, yeah, it's not going to really be a concern of yours. Likewise, too, it's a little harder to see because his arm is covering it, but he does have another little bunch of controls down over here by his belt. And man, the Star Wars is just really colorful, you know, like that's the one that you can say about Vader. I feel like he got darker, especially as the movies went on. But here in New Hope, he does have some red and some green to kind of help balance and make him pop a little bit more. And it really does. I mean, especially when you look at it from this tight of an angle, you can see just like how much color this adds to help it pop a little bit more, make him not just one shade of black. But again, he does have many different shades of black here to work with this piece. I mean, you do have the very, very shiny helmet that he has. He has more of the matte finished over here. The quilted armor is different. You know, there's a lot of different ways they're presenting the color black to make it not be as flat. And to me, that's kind of an important thing, because with a statue like this, you don't want to lose any of that depth. It's very important to keep the depth going, and they've done it here. I mean, there's so many different tonalities that they're using for this particular shade that it really pulls it off excellently, I think. Now, I think it's also worth spending some more time on Darth's cape. And again, my first glance when this thing was rotating, I was like, wow, they actually did a really great job on that cape. It is kind of funny that it's bunched up here as if like that's the end of it, when we know that cape goes way further below. But you can also see actually Darth kind of like holding the tip of it over here, kind of holding the corner of that cape. So, you know, it might be that it's ending over here, but it certainly does go beyond that point in real life if this is like a full-size statue of Darth. But I love the folds and the texture in this cape as well. And also, again, this is another rendition of the same shade of black, but in a different style, so that it does look like it's different. It's not the same piece of fabric we're seeing in his quilted armor, or that's kind of like covering his chest. It's all kind of very different, and that's excellent. That's something that you really want to see with a statue like this. And again, you're not going to really ever have this Darth more than likely posed with his back facing anybody, but the detail is there. It really does look like a different kind of fabric. It's a much more lighter look to it. Even the way it's like being shaded, you can see that there's kind of more light coming into it. So it's more of a sheer fabric maybe compared to like some of the thicker quilted armor that is on those arms. Now, as far as the base goes too, let's spend a little bit of time on this, well, basically it's a hockey puck. That's kind of the way I describe these things. You know, normally the Gentle Giant style bases, they're not that impressive, and this is nothing that fancy either. It really is just a Star Wars hockey puck. Let's call it what it is. It does have some rubber stoppers on the bottom, as I showed you guys before, and once again, there's that number that our Darth has and all the information right here for you. But the base, you know, nothing to write home about, but it's simple, and also it's signature at this point. All the other pieces will have similar bases so that they'll all match up when they're posed together. And for a lot of statue collectors, that uniformity is very, very important. Now, the one thing I haven't talked about yet is that lightsaber. And the lightsaber is, again, just a very nice, simple piece of transparent plastic, or translucent plastic, however you want to define it. It's more translucent, I guess. Listen, science class taught me a lot of things, but not about toys. So the lightsaber blade, like I showed you guys, comes in and out just as easily as it does 10 minutes after I put it initially in. So that's good to know, but it does stay in there pretty firmly. It's not going to go falling out anytime soon. So it will be secured. I will say if it falls over, chances are this lightsaber ain't gonna survive. But hey, you don't play with that lightsaber, you don't get hurt. You can see here though, it does balance the light really nicely, and especially if you had a more aggressive lighting setup where there's some more lights behind him, it really would look like it's glowing. So that's cool, because even the way it is right now, it kind of does have a little bit of a glow to it. So yeah, it looks good all around. And top to bottom, yeah, this is exactly what I've been wanting in a Darth Vader statue. So my final thoughts on this piece are, this would be the must-have Darth Vader piece. And I know that Gentle Giant is going to be doing more Star Wars pieces, and I know other companies have the rights to do Darth as well, plus of course there's all the Star Wars toys coming from Hasbro. But as far as a statue, you know, if you just had to buy one among the many that are out in the last year or so that's, you know, affordable, that's a key word here, is affordable, I would go with this New Hope version from Gentle Giant. This one here is just excellent. Really nice size, captures all the details perfectly, beautiful paint job. It's a stunner. This is a real knockout piece here. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed if you pick this up for yourself. I'm pretty darn happy that I got this for me too. Now, if you want to pick up this Darth Vader statue for your collection, well, we're gonna have links in the description of this video below for a few places that you can pick him up. If you click on any of those links, they help support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been our look at the Gentle Giant Darth Vader 1/6 scale mini bust. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching my review. It's an iconic piece, and it's one that's going to really tie your collection together, or be the gateway to you buying a whole lot more Star Wars pieces if you're new to this line. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys here next time.